where the sky meets the sea. This story is in 5 parts. Please look in our page for the remaining parts. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Part 1. The Fall. The first time Evelyn saw Aiden, he was dancing with the wind. He stood barefoot on the beach, sketchbook balanced on one knee. Charcoal smudged across his cheek like war paint. The waves flirted with his toes, and his tousled hair whipped in the wind, untamed and golden under the afternoon sun. Evelyn, newly heartbroken and hiding from the world in her grandmother's coastal cottage, was only supposed to be out for a walk. But there he was, somehow both still and alive, with the kind of aura that made silence feel like music. She didn't speak to him that day, or the next, but by the 3rd time their paths crossed along the shore, it felt strange not to say anything. "You always draw here?" she asked, hugging her cardigan tighter against the breeze. Aiden looked up, eyes the color of sea glass, green but fractured with light. "Only when the sky is worth remembering," he said. Evelyn smiled. "And is it?" He turned the sketchbook toward her. A quick but graceful charcoal impression of the beach. The sky above streaked with strokes like broken wings. The sadness in it caught her off guard. "It is today," he said quietly. What started as small talk by the sea turned into long walks, late-night texts, shared secrets, an avalanche of laughter. Evelyn hadn't laughed in months. Not since her fiancé, Luke, had ended things 3 weeks before their wedding. Her life in the city had become a gray wash of plans unmade and walls closing in. That cottage, dusty, full of old photographs and the smell of rosemary, was her retreat. Aiden was unexpected. They were opposites in many ways. Evelyn was calculated, a planner, a lawyer who made lists even for her weekends. Aiden was free-spirited, always chasing beauty, always changing paths. He painted murals for small towns, taught art workshops to kids, never stayed in one place too long. He told her once, "I think I'm scared of settling. It feels like the beginning of fading." But with her, he stayed. By winter, they were inseparable. When the first frost turned the dunes to glass, Aiden traced her laugh into his sketches. Evelyn watched him sleep some mornings, his lashes flickering with dreams, and felt something terrifying rise in her chest. Hope. One night, as they lay under a threadbare quilt watching old movies projected on the living room wall, he reached over and laced his fingers through hers. "Ev," he whispered, "do you believe some people are meant to find each other more than once?" She turned to him, heart thudding. Why would they need to? Because the first time might be too soon. She kissed him before he could say more. In spring, he got the call. A commission mural in Portugal. 6 months, all expenses paid. A huge opportunity. "I could say no," he said, brushing her hair back as she sat stunned at the kitchen table. "I don't want to leave you." But Evelyn had seen the light in his eyes when he spoke of the place. The ocean cliffs. The colors. She couldn't be the reason he said no. "You have to go," she said, voice brittle. "It's everything you've worked for. I want you to come with me." That stopped her. Leave the firm? Her clients? Her grandmother's cottage, where she'd just begun to feel whole again. She wanted to say yes. God, she wanted to. But she didn't know how to be that girl yet. The girl who leapt without a net. "I can't, Aiden. Not yet." He swallowed hard. "I get it. I do. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid we're that story." "What story?" "The one where everything's perfect until it's not. The one where people don't wait." He left in early May. She drove him to the airport, watched him disappear into crowd with his oversized sketch tube and fraying backpack. He kissed her like a promise. She smiled like she believed in it. But weeks passed. Then months. Messages got shorter. Calls came less often, distorted by time zones and exhaustion. Then one night, 3 months in, she got a text that shattered her. "I think we're fading, Ev. And I don't know how to stop it." She read it over and over, sitting on the porch steps with her grandmother's shawl around her shoulders. The sea in the distance hissed like it was trying to wash the words away. But they stayed. She didn't reply. What could she say? She loved him. Still did. But love without proximity was like sand in the wind. Aiden didn't follow up. And silence, she found, had its own finality. By late summer, Evelyn returned to the city. She buried herself in work, repainted her apartment walls, cut her hair. Everyone said she looked refreshed. She smiled politely, kept her heartbreak folded in her coat pocket, right next to her phone. She never really turned off at night. She told herself she was healing, that maybe he'd meant what he said, that some people find each other more than once. But months passed, and the beach grew distant. Aiden grew quiet. One night, she opened his last sketchbook he'd given her. Tucked inside was a folded paper, one she hadn't noticed before. It was a sketch of her, sitting on the porch, hair windswept, eyes closed, smiling at something unseen. On the back, he'd scribbled, "Some skies are worth remembering. Some people even more." Her hands trembled. Maybe it wasn't the end, but right now it felt like it. Checking the playlist for part 2, Echoes of You.